In this screencast, we're going to practice naming with polyatomic ions. So get out your notebook and periodic table and a pencil so you can practice with me. Go ahead and pause if you're ready to try that. Now, if you're ready to look at your possible polyatomic ion names, you go, okay, well, there are at least 3 different elements here. There's potassium and sulfur and oxygen with that capital K and the S and the O. Now, I don't see an ammonium at the beginning of the name, so there's no positive polyatomic ion at the beginning of the name. So let's look for a name for SO4. And so we'd scan down our list of possible polyatomic ion names until we had SO4, and that's actually sulfate. So we know we have sulfate for the second half of the name. And then we find K's name on the front of our table as potassium. And I should have a space right here. I just wrote them a little close together there in the end. Now we have nitrogen, hydrogen, and then a capital S. So we've got at least 3, more than 2, at least 3 capital letters. So we must have a polyatomic ion. Did you recognize a polyatomic ion in the parentheses? One we have been talking about is ammonium. And so we're going to have ammonium for the first part of the name. First name. The last name will be for the S. Normally that would be sulfur, but for an element, a single element as your anion, you change the ending to I. So when your anion is just an element, you use its name from the front of the table, like sulfur, as its prefix, and then you change the ending to IDE, so ammonium sulfide. Now we're going to try a few more examples. I suggest you pause right here and see how many of these you can name on your own. Now when you're ready to start, I'll start giving you some tips and tricks on how to name each of these. So again, we're looking for capital letters. We're going, oh, there's at least 3 of them. We must have polyatomic ions present. No ammonium at the beginning of the name. So we'll name the metal aluminum. And we'll look for the polyatomic ion in the second portion of the name, CrO4. Chromium with oxygen. We'll scan down our list of polyatomic ions. That one's called chromate. And so we've got aluminum, chromate. Again, no ammonium here. So we'll have to name the metal. We'll find Li on the front of the table, and that's lithium. And then we'll look for P and O because we for sure have more than 2 elements. We'll have a polyatomic ion. We'll make sure that it's PO3, not PO4. Find PO3 is phosphite. And so we've got lithium phosphite. Maybe you haven't paused yet to try any of these on your own. Now might be a good time. When you're ready, we can look for a polyatomic ion that we've been talking about, and this should be an L, a lowercase l, but we've still got 4 uppercase letters. We have a lot of elements going on here. We want to recognize that NH4 is ammonium, that positive polyatomic ion. And then we've got a chlorine with oxygen, so that one is hypochlorite. We have calcium here with CO3, carbonate. And lastly, calcium with sulfate. Calcium carbonate and calcium sulfate were key polyatomic ionic compounds that are commonly found in chalks.